Hello and welcome to Retrotainment Recast. Yes, it's not a mirage. I am doing the host, which means I lost last week. It's been a while, lads. You've got to ring me. I'm ring rusty here. I kept you out of here for a while.
Yeah,
you take that hand down now, or I'll break it off.
You had a good run. I'll give you that.
I was one short of the record. One short. And now Carl has the record for them. Oh, sorry, tied the record. Yeah, I was one short of holding it.
Yeah.
Now Carl has the record of 5 reigns.
Oh yeah.
I think Carl has the tied record for shortest reigns with you as well, though.
He does.
And me. I think I have the shortest reign.
No, I had twice.
I think Carl has as well.
Carl also has the record for being beaten on a Champions Advantage twice.
Oh God, don't remind me.
Nearly 3.
Almost 3 times.
Yeah.
Almost 3.
Well, it'll be in his favour this time.
What I will do is
I haven't won off Champions Advantage yet.
I'll start by introducing the champion. Carl, welcome.
Hello.
And the challenger for the evening, Ted. How are you, pal?
I'm not too bad. This is a great film to do. Tough to recast now, I have to say, but
very tough to recast.
Yeah.
So I gave you the daunting task of the 06 classic, The Departed.
Yeah.
Arguably the most star-studded lineup of films, and we had done Ocean's 11.
It's definitely up
there. It's a tie between them, and I think the star power name in this is probably better than the star power name that was in that.
Maybe. Well, quite similar.
Yeah.
Quite similar.
Yeah.
I think this has
Jack in it though.
Had more gravitas. I had more gravitas than Ocean's 11.
It's more that Ocean's 11 was the stars of the day, and this was the stars of the day and stars
of all
the,
time.
The past. Yeah.
Well, when you put Jack in anything, it's
exactly.
gold, isn't it?
Well, not just Jack. You had
you had Martin Sheen in there
as well. And then I suppose Alec Baldwin was still
Baldwin.
I suppose he was still he was still quite in his fame at that point. But yeah, you know what I mean. You had quite a few people who were already legacies already built.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal movie when it came out. I remember going to see it in the cinema. The soundtrack and everything was just perfect.
It's almost perfect. It's great.
Scorsese absolutely knocked it out of the park here, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a brilliant film.
I know you were saying, Ted, you had to go and rewatch it because you didn't think you'd seen it, but you had seen it in the end.
Yeah, I don't know why I was like, I don't know if I've seen this, and then I started watching it. I was like, oh no, I've definitely seen this. Yeah. Why the hell did I think it's been a while since I've seen it? But I was like, why the hell did I think I hadn't seen this?
So good.
It was the same with me there the other day. I watched A Time to Kill, and I
thought, what a movie!
Unbelievable movie, but I didn't realize I had seen it before. I was like, oh, all right, it's this movie. Oh God, it's this movie.
Yeah, it's
no.
great film, but not an enjoyable watch.
It's a rough watch.
Not at all.
For the content that's in it, yeah.
Right, gents, will we get it started? You know the rule. I've gone over the rules in the back. What a nice clean fight.
Send the picture.
Yeah.
Right, you know the rules. Everyone's been warned. Send the pictures in, and we're going to do it in the woods. Great Mills Lane. Let's get it on.
3, 2, 1.
I'll just check to make sure they come in there.
Beautiful.
I have both down there. Perfect.
Phone is down.
Right, gents.
Where we start?
We hemmed and hawed about 7 or 9. We eventually went with 7. So for anyone who's listening, we won't be putting the only female cast in it.
Well, there's 2 female casts.
Against my protest, but however.
Yeah, it was against mine as well. But we gave Ted the choice to pick the 9th person because he hadn't seen it, or we thought he hadn't seen it. So
the problem was that the 9th person, they're all very minimal, and for me, she isn't important enough to the plot line of the film.
Yeah.
To make up for the fact of putting in someone smaller. Like we've done films before where we're like, oh, there's 8 really important characters, and then we'll just put we need to put one more in for the uneven split.
I mean,
but she's not so important for me to the plot line. When I watched it, I was like, you kind of get away without having her in it.
Yeah. So it was a valid argument. So we
still have Vera Farmiga there, anyway.
She is cast perfectly.
Yeah, she was cast fine. We'll just leave her as she was.
Exactly.
Right. Well, we'll start it with the man of the hour at the minute. Well, it's actually kind of died down on him now a little bit with Alec Baldwin's character, Lieutenant Ellerby.
Lieutenant Ellerby. Or Captain Ellerby, wasn't it?
Or Captain Ellerby,
Captain
yeah.
Ellerby. I thought I'd knocked this one out of the park, and I maybe wouldn't have chosen it if I just hadn't seen him a couple of weeks ago in the Mandalorian or in the Book of Boba Fett. I went with Timothy Olyphant.
The man himself.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah. I think Timothy Olyphant would be great for this role. You know, yeah, I think he's just great. Timothy Olyphant always knocks out of the park anyway, and it'd be the kind of role that he would take.
Man, I've seen that man pop up in random things. I was watching My Name is Earl there. I restarted watching that. He's in the first season of My Name is Earl.
What a show.
Yeah. He's also in The Girl Next Door as well.
I had a few kind of that I was back and forth with on this, because obviously Baldwin is a big name. But it's not, you can't just put any old big name in here.
He's a big character as well.
Yeah, it's not just that. Like, I was kind of thinking of big names, and I was like, would you have someone like Brad Pitt in there? And I was like, he doesn't really fit that role.
No.
I thought of someone, and then I was like, they're probably too small a name, even though I love them as an actor. Sean Pertwee, who I think is a great actor, but I don't know.
Sarge?
I don't know if he's the right fit for this role. He's more of a commanding lead than Ellerby was in this.
I love Sarge.
I do love Sarge, but I think he's a little bit smaller of a name than Baldwin was.
Yeah, he's 100%
I don't know. He's a bit more of a commanding lead than Ellerby is as the captain here. I went with someone who is a big name and I think could play this off in Tom Hiddleston. I think he could play off the kind of the psychotic break he has when the sting operation goes badly. When the guy doesn't put the cameras in correctly.
He leaves that little spot.
Yeah, he leaves that blind spot, and I can see
get out the back.
Yeah, I can see Hiddleston's reaction to that, and then I can see him being, don't worry, those guys are dicks, but like, you guys just work with me. Like, the guy's a fantastic actor. So like,
Tom Hiddleston is great. I think Timothy Olyphant might be a little bit better for this role, though. I think he just kind of has the kind of little bit of the gruffness there about him. It is. I as good as Tom Hiddleston is, like, see Timothy Olyphant having that psychotic break a little bit more.
I can see Olyphant doing it as well. I don't know that Ellerby's captain is particularly gruff, though. Seems like a fairly kind of.
I never really found any of the cops other than Martin Sheen particularly clean in this. Martin Sheen, I think, was the cleanest of the lot.
Yeah, clean, but like not like gruff either. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe gruff was the wrong choice of words, but
yeah. Beaten.
Yeah, like I think Timothy Olyphant is a bit more of a rough around the edges, maybe. And Ellerby just doesn't seem that rough around the edges, other than when he has a fucking breakdown because somebody didn't put the camera in.
He's also someone you don't want to cross. Straight away you don't want to cross, and Timothy Olyphant's definitely more intimidating than Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, Hiddleston would probably sidetrack your career more. He mightn't beat you up, but like, your career won't go anywhere if he doesn't want it to.
It's true, but I mean, Alec Baldwin Ellerby was intimidating. Even he wasn't over the top intimidating, but he was intimidating. You knew you didn't want to cross him.
I think it gets up in your man's face as well. After
I think Hiddleston can do that as well, to be fair.
He could. Don't get me wrong. He could. Both these actors could definitely do it. But I think Olyphant kind of has.
This is a good one. This is a good one for Greg to have to choose.
It's a tough choice for him.
When you said Timothy Olyphant, I was like,
I kind of saw your face. You're like,
I was like, I was like, I thought I was onto a bit of a winner here with Hiddleston, and I was like, maybe I'm not on as much of a winner as I really banked here. I think you're kind of the same. You thought you were onto a banker with Olyphant, and now you're like, well, maybe actually there could be going either way here.
Well, if this is that into where this episode's going to go, it's not going to be a good night for me.
I
thought I'd have a handy one.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with my choice that I had for this. I went with Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
I think he fits in. He slots into that role perfectly.
I was thinking of maybe putting Affleck in one of these roles, but I kind of edged away from it.
He was the last one that I put in.
I'd looked at him for a couple of things, and then I just decided to step away from him for.
Yeah,
he's so good. He's so good.
Oh yeah, no, he's fantastic actor. I stepped away from him because the other roles I was looking at, I was like, he's too young for some of them and too old for other ones.
I think he fits in. Ellerby doesn't really have, like, he's obviously got to have some kind of experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a captain in the, in the unit.
You're talking about 10, 15 years. Another 5 out of college. You're talking about 40s, late 40s, probably 50s.
Yeah, which does suit Oliphant more than Hiddleston, if we're thinking of that.
Possibly, yeah. Hiddleston's not that young though either. Hiddleston's
no, he's not. No,
40 as well, and I think that's
he's
around
40, looking 20. The Jeremy prick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is. He's he does at times, but he can look quite old.
Lad.
He is, but he can look old as well. He can look kind of haggard when he wants to.
I will say I do like Tom Hiddleston. I've used him quite a bit, but I'm gonna give it to Timothy Olyphant on this one.
Yeah, I can't argue too much against Olyphant.
I mean, they're two fucking top drawer picks. No, I'd still have my pick quicker than have either of yours.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a toughie. I kind of thought I was in for an easy night here.
No, you should have known you weren't with that. With
the movie choice.
Yeah, with the film you chose, but
so that's gonna put Carl 1-0 up.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Right now, we'll go to the gruffest man on this list. We'll go with French.
Mr. French.
Who was played by Ray Winston. Ray Winston.
Yeah. Ray Winston is probably
if you're putting a person into this role.
It's Ray Winston. Yeah, it is. And I think Ray Winston is probably the smallest of the cast members out of the 7 we have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not a shot at him, like in comparison to who you're comparing these other casts.
Oh, the name,
as a name, he's definitely a smaller name than pretty much everyone else in it. I had a few kind of ones for this. One of my backups was Colin Farrell, who I think
I had one.
I had Colin Farrell as a backup. I didn't go with him. I went with John Berthenol, who I think would play the gruff right-hand man that is just ready to, do you know when they go into the house and he just pulls the gun out and just bang straight away, like no hesitation, right? Just put that lad down. And obviously Billy is kind of like, oh shit, what the hell? I didn't expect that to happen. And he's just like, yeah, well, your man chatted back to Frank, bang.
It's a good show. I only started watching The Punisher as well.
I think it's a different movie with John Bernthal. Because although it is a small role, it's still a significant role, and Ray Winston is never going to be the guy to challenge Frank. Casting someone along the lines of John Bernthal, he's always, he's the next one in line, and he's going to be pushing to take control. If
you've seen him at the start of The Punisher, you wouldn't think that.
But that's the start of The Punisher, and then he progresses into that.
No, the whole Punisher series, he never
goes.
You haven't watched Punisher, so I don't really want to. I don't want to give too much away. But basically, he's a guy who was in the army, and he had no aspirations of ever being a top guy. He was just a soldier. That's all he ever wanted to be, was a soldier. He never wants to push ahead of that. Becomes the Punisher because he gets back, but he doesn't answer to anybody.
I can't be losing to the Punisher again, like, for God's sake.
I'm just saying, like, his character that he does play in that is never one that looks to be the main man.
We're banning the Punisher from here on out.
We're not banning nothing.
Just go and watch it.
I went with Colin Farrell for this one. Again, you were thinking along the same lines.
I did have Colin Farrell, and then I had him down for a long time, and then John Bernthal came into my head, and I was like, woof.
I think he's that little bit older. Which suits at least he looks that little bit older at least as well.
No, he is definitely older, I think.
I think he definitely
probably
suits
close. I'd say
he suits the personality a bit more. with Ray Winston than John Bernthal does.
He's a couple of months older, Greg, by the way.
Oh, really?
He's only a couple of months, is he?
For about 45, yeah.
Jesus.
But I mean, I know you only saw recently, Greg, The Gentleman.
I actually only rewatched it today because I said I didn't like it, and I was
Yeah.
pretty sure it's because I watched that stupid Texas Chainsaw Massacre that sent me in a bad mood.
But Colin Farrell is great in that.
It's actually, I really enjoyed it the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
I know I said to you it was shit, and I was like, yeah. I said I better go rewatch that just to make sure it wasn't because I watched that other junk at the start.
Yeah. Never watch something after watching a bad film.
It was
never
generally the reason, because I really loved it now the second time I watched it.
It was great. Another difficult decision for you, Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had one name for the first one, which I said.
Yeah.
I had two names here, and both of them have just been mentioned. Now, I can't obviously show you my list here because I have one scribbled out. But John Bernthal was my backup.
Fuck, I had
Colin
Farrell, and
Farrell.
I actually thought Bernthal, I was like, I think he could just do the role a little bit better. Yeah,
Colin Farrell, John Bernthal.
I had Colin Farrell originally, and I switched to John Bernthal because I was like, I think he's just that bit.
I mean, my backup switches have killed me in the last number of weeks as well.
Yeah, no, they have. The reason I switched was because I was kind of like, Colin Farrell is a lot more suave.
I don't say that now. Yeah, when obviously Carl saying there that I watched The Gentleman.
Yeah.
If you look him in that, even in intermission, he's not suave at all.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that, but he's played like I still see him.
Out, yeah.
I just see Colin Farrell as quite a suave guy in general. Whereas I look at John Bernthal, I'm like, that guy, like he just looks rough as like he
just saw
the shit out of you.
I just watched King Richard the other day, and John Bernthal and that you would not reckon he's wearing.
Is he in that? Is he?
Yeah, he has a porn star mustache, and he's he's wearing like 90s.
I changed my pick. I'm giving it to Ted for that mustache alone that I haven't seen.
90s tight like shorts on him, and like he's a tennis player and all that. He's Macy. He plays Macy. He's a real life guy. I'm
just saying that's the reason I switched it, because I was like, Colin Farrell's a bit suave, and I was like, John Bernthal's just a down in the dirt gruff killer, like, is the way I viewed them, and that's where my switch came from.
See, I did have
Colin Farrell. Yeah, I
I
haven't seen The Gentleman, so I did have Colin Farrell, and then I went, one of them's grittier than the other, or like a more down in the dirt killer.
I think Farrell's played a lot more of those down in the dirt roles than people tend to remember.
No, he has, and I'm not saying that, but it's just.
I know.
If you see the two of them, one looks like a more suave guy than the other.
I mean, I'm very intrigued now to see Colin Farrell in the Batman.
Yes,
God, I can't wait for that.
Desperate for that to come out. Yeah, backup killed me.
The backup got you this time.
I will say, at the time of recording, it's not out yet. By the time this comes in, I think Batman will already have been out.
I think it's out, but
I think we'll have all seen it too.
Yeah, well, I'll be seeing it opening weekend, I think so.
I have tickets for opening night, IMAX.
Oh, lovely.
What happens?
He dies. It'll be the first time back in the cinema.
If he dies, he dies. Right, lads. So that's 2-0, Carl.
Yeah.
Champion throwing.
Two tough ones.
Yeah, two ones that I felt confident that I had good shouts on as well. I mean,
they were very good, like, especially to have my backup.
Yeah, I think that's the first time that's ever happened.
And you had my pick as your backup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's definitely the first time that's happened on the show.
It's a tough one.
It's not. It's happened to me. I lost on Gladiator with my backup being your two picks when I switched it.
Yeah, but then our backups weren't your pick.
Yeah.
Oh, you had John Bernthal as a backup, Carl, did you?
No.
I had John Bernthal, but then Colin Farrell was my backup. You had Colin Farrell, and John Bernthal was your backup.
Right. Trying to see, who do we go with here?
Has to be Queen and her Dignam.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick which one. All right, we're gonna go with Mark Wahlberg's Dignam here.
Okay.
The loud mouth.
I would say this is the last one that I put down.
I don't like my pick for this.
I'm not.
You're in trouble if you don't win it, then.
I'm not huge on this one for myself. To be honest, it's the last one I put down, and I only put it down because I had to put someone down. I went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I think would do it very well.
Okay.
Again, I don't have too much to say on it.
Yeah, this one was tough. The name I had originally that I put down was inspired by something that we'd all watched quite recently, and we were all a big fan of. We're a fan of this guy anyway, but I had John Cena, but I think he's a little bit old for the role, and I was like, he's probably too old in comparison, so I went
not
away
even
from
age,
that.
but acting style, definitely not.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, no, well, there's no. I'd say he probably definitely could. Dignam's very loud and abrupt in this.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I was like, I was with Carl as well. I was like, I don't know if he's serious enough at the moment. Obviously with who he is in the Peacekeeper, he's a bit more serious and badass in that, but I still kind of like, I don't know if I'm 100% bought. So I went with someone who can play that very serious character. I didn't go for the loudness as much as I went for the, basically like very confident in himself. And I went with Donald Gleason. But as I said, again, Carl, I'm similar to you on Gordon-Levitt. I'm not sold on my pick one way or the other.
I think we've literally chosen the same type of actor.
Yeah, this was a tough one because I don't think there's many actors out there that can do that style that he did for this film.
Does,
and he's not in it a whole lot either, so you have to kind of think about that as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an argument against Donald Gleason while putting up Joseph Gordon-Levitt. They are very, very similar actors.
Don't like either of those picks, lads, to be honest with you.
I did say I wasn't massively sold on my pick.
I had two names on mine. I had Chris Evans as a backup.
No.
And I was just like, I just sat there and I was like, can I see him do it? And I was like, no. And I actually had Timothy Olyphant as my pick.
All right, okay.
Because I rewatched Girl Next Door, and when he plays the porn director, friend, boyfriend, whatever he is, isn't it? He's loud, he's obnoxious.
Now, and I will say when Carl mentioned Timothy Olyphant, I actually did think, I was sitting here and I was like, I should have used him for my Dignam. I was actually thinking, I was like, Jesus, that's actually a solid Dignam, because I was like, he's kind of got that angry face as well, a bit too old maybe.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I think he's too old for Dignam.
But I was like, you could do the angry, loud, in your face, abrasive thing, and I was like, geez, that actually would be a good shout there.
That's why I went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, because he can do angry, he can do abrasive.
Donald Gleason can as well, is kind of the thing. So just, as you said, two very similar sort of actors.
The only thing I will say too, Mark Wahlberg was a name at this stage. It's the only argument I could kind of put up.
I would say Donald Gleason is a name at this stage, though, as well.
He is, but I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt, especially for American audiences, which is, let's face it, that's where they're putting it for. In it for American audiences, Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be a bigger name than Donald Gleason.
Yeah.
At this stage, would he?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I'm kind of thinking, I'm like,
because the American audiences grew up with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No, yeah, he would have been, but then Donald Gleason is Harry Potter, Star Wars.
And barely in Harry. No one knows him from Harry Potter, really.
Not massively, but
Star Wars, people criticize him from Star Wars, didn't like him in that.
American
so he's kind of forgotten about it.
Yeah, but his name, then obviously he was in, the film wasn't great, but
he was in The Revenant as well, wasn't he?
He was in The Revenant, he was in Dread, which, that don't hold that against him. He was in True Grit, which is obviously...
Americans
he was only young in that,
so
yeah, he was. No, but I'm saying that he's built it. He's started to build a name already. Like, he does have that name there. Is kind of more my thing.
Yeah, I don't like either of those.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, as I said, who was your pick? Actually, it was Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant. Yeah.
Right. Well, you can't have cast him in a different role as Carl did then. So switch that point out. Thank you. That's been precedented on this show before. Thank you very. It has.
No, it hasn't.
It has. Yes.
you can also say if we have a pick and a pick suits a different role better, that one can be used, and that's been a precedent.
That's the one. That's what we had for Predator, yeah. But I couldn't use Terry Crews, or we couldn't use
something. Yeah.
I couldn't use someone because I'd already cast him somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then when we did
but
one with
Greg
Ian
Greg wasn't casting, but he thought that
when we did that one with Ian and Carl, Ian cast somebody into a role that I was like, oh, I can't give you the point because I have her cast somewhere else.
But we've also said off screen that if we think that a role suits something better, no matter even if it's better than our own pick, we can use it as that. And he obviously thought that Ten was a great choice for Ellerby.
And I don't like either of those picks.
So
I'm going to give you the point here, Ted.
where would you put Timothy Olyphant if you could put him now, Greg?
As Dignam.
There you go. So then go back. Take that point off, Carl. Give it to me and give me this point as well. Thank you.
Right. Well, then I'll just give Carl the point for this one. I'll give it to Donald Gleeson just because maybe fitting into that Boston area as well, having the Irish connection in there.
Yeah.
Might too. I know Americans love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I'm not entirely sure why. He's a good actor, but
I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But
I do like him. Don't get me wrong, but there's a dime a dozen of them kind of actors around. He's nothing special. Like,
yeah, I there's a lot to him, but he's gone to the wayside recently. All right, definitely.
Like, I thought he would have kicked on big time when he was in The Dark Knight Rises.
Well, it looked like he was set to have his own series off the back of it, and then he walked away from it. So
what else? He ended up writing that one with Scarlett Johansson, didn't he? Don John, and I think he deserves a round of applause for that one, to be fair to him. What you do? I write my own movie about a sex addict, and who do you cast in the star role as the female? Yeah, you go and get the best looking girl on the planet. Fair fucking play to you, pal.
Cheeky bastard, so he is, yeah.
I'll give it to Donald Gleeson this time. I just think Mark Wahlberg was perfect, though.
He was.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. It was a tough recast because you needed somebody who's loud and intimidating.
It's nearly as if that part was cast for Mark Wahlberg, wasn't it?
It was cast for.
It probably was.
Yeah, and the thing is, you need somebody young as well because they need to be.
Yeah. And he was jacked.
Yeah, you need somebody who's not so young in comparison to
Billy and Colin,
Billy and Colin, but then he needs to be significantly younger than the two captains. So
yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on to Martin Sheen. We'll move on to Martin Sheen, who was Queenan.
Captain Queenan.
Yeah. This is
we need an L guy.
Yeah, he's not. The thing is, he wasn't that old.
I'm going to tell you this now. If one of you have cast Bill Murray, you're not getting a point. Ted, I'm looking at you here.
No, Bill Murray's way too old for this role. Queenan was only 66 in this.
Only? That's retirement age over here, isn't it?
It is.
Just under.
Not if the government has any way to.
Yeah, well, that'll change, but it is.
Which
it is
they will.
No, but like he wasn't really old or anything either. So it's not like you needed to go too old. I had a couple of people. One of them I know. And this might bite me in the ass because I have put it as my backup, but Gary Oldman, I think, could have done this role quite well. But there's a bit of a dirty dog to Gary Oldman, which
Gary
Queenan
Oldman is one of the best actors.
One of the best actors of all time.
He is, but there's a bit of a dirty dog to him, which Queenan doesn't have. So that's why I didn't go with him. I said acting wise, he's up there, but
of course,
the man's a dirty dog, you know. So I went with someone who is a very clean cut guy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's been used on this once before in Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, you used him, didn't you?
No, I think Carl used him before. Yeah. And I think he's a very clean,
straight-laced, that's the one. That's the one I made the mistake in the pick. I cast him over Kurt Russell in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. I got screwed there as well. Yeah, Kurt Russell should have been there, and I got.
Yeah, I even said that then on the next episode. I was like, I got that wrong.
Yeah, but I think you're talking your straight-laced captain who's he's been around the block, but he's also not intimidated by the the gangsters around him. I think Pierce Brosnan can do that quite well.
this role is one I love absolutely the most out of the people I've chosen.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I was really happy with Pierce Brosnan. Now I have to say, like the first name I put down was Pierce Brosnan, and Gary Oldman was actually a second, and I was like, that's a decent backup, and I'll see if I change it. But Pierce was the first one I went with for this.
I'm just gonna say it, get it out there. Tom Selleck.
Dead too well.
You're joking.
Yeah. No chance of my casting Tom Selleck as Captain Queenan. There's no chance of my casting Magnum PI.
That man's a dirty dog.
And the fact that he's about 90.
He plays a very similar role in Blue Bloods.
I didn't watch Blue Bloods. I know he plays a police captain.
It's a TV show. Yeah, he's a police captain. He literally plays this role.
Listen, I'm sorry, you can't be walking around with that Tom Selleck mustache and not be considered a dirty dog, you know?
I disagree with that one now completely.
He's a little bit old for the role. I kind of think as well.
He's literally playing the role at the moment.
I know, but he's a little bit like, you know, this is a guy he's
77.
77. You're it's a good 11 years, like 10 years on, like sort of maybe a little old.
You don't look much different between 70 and 60.
Maybe, but yeah, I think that mustache, nice mustache.
Yeah, I think Tom Selleck would be fantastic in that role.
Have I got a Ronnie? Well, you're no Tom Selleck.
I just don't see it. That's why I gave that point straight up. I didn't mean to cut across you. I had three names on mine.
That has me disappointed.
Here we go. Who have you got, Greg? Go on.
Tom Selleck, and Tom Selleck.
Pierce Brosnan was just such a good pick.
I had Bryan Cranston for one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good choice.
I had Gary Oldman for another one.
Yeah.
And then I had the GOAT himself and Tom Hanks. And that was my pick.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Tom Hanks. Yeah. Catch me if you can when he plays the straight-laced cop chasing him down.
It's a good.
Tom Hanks is a great shot.
That's a solid pick. I think.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is great.
Yeah, that's a good one. If I was casting, I'd still go Pierce over Tom.
I wouldn't. I'd go Tom Hanks. Yeah.
I think I'd still go Pierce over Tom just because of possibly the James Bond kind of connection places it there for me. And I'm not a big James Bond guy, but having that in your repertoire is a big bonus.
When you play a depiction of an actual FBI agent that chased down America's most fraudulent man.
I'm not. Yeah, like I'm not. That isn't a knock against Tom Hanks as a pick either. But
did he play J. Edgar Hoover as well? Didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan did basically play Jerry Adams.
Yeah.
He did not. That was not Jerry Adams. I will have you know.
That was not Jerry Adams.
That was a fucking fabulous movie, though. The Foreigner.
Jerry Adams will have you killed. Jerry Adams will have you killed if you say that.
Did you see that one, Ted? Did you?
Yeah, it's really good.
So good.
I'll have you killed. I tied it up anyway.
That's disappointing.
Oh yeah, I really was happy with the Tom Hanks pick there now.
Yeah, no, it's a solid pick. I was very happy with my Pierce Brosnan now, I have to say, when I got him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I probably would have given it to you with Gary Oldman as well.
Yeah, my problem with Oldman was, as I said, he's just a bit of a dirty boy.
I think the fact that Tom Selleck is Magnum PI was never going to help that case.
Look at that mustache.
Like, if I had to watch Blue Bloods, maybe it might be different.
Watch Blue Bloods.
I don't watch cop shows.
Watch The Punisher.
Finish Brooklyn Nine-Nmi. Don't give me shit here.
Brooklyn Nine-Nmi comes onto Netflix, I will.
Find it and watch it.
Right, down to the final three. What do you want to do? Do you want to leave Jack to last, considering the whole story runs around him?
I would say he's the
main.
Yeah, the other two are about equal, I would say.
No, I'm fine going either way.
I don't know, like, because they're both equal, so I wouldn't know which one of them to put last if you weren't putting Frank. And the man deserves it. He's a top bill.
I'm gonna leave Jack till the end.
Yeah, it's Jack.
I did kind of cast Billy and Colin as a duo.
Well, I'm gonna go one.
They do look similar enough.
I got screwed over on one of them.
You did. I'm just saying they do. They look similar enough in
they look very similar in this.
Yeah, it's very easy to mix them up, isn't it?
They don't.
Very easy.
they don't play on that at all, though.
No, they should.
They should play on it, but they don't play on it at all. It's so strange.
They play similar enough characters as well.
They do.
They literally play. They play the exact
one side
opposite.
of the coin. Yeah, like one guy's the good guy pretending to be the bad guy. The other guy's a bad guy pretending to be the good guy. And then they're so similar looking.
It's yin and yang, isn't it?
Yeah. Geez, they really should have played up the fact that they look the same, but they just don't. They just don't mention it at all.
They should have just got Tom Hardy to play both of them.
Maybe.
Please God, no.
Right. Seeing as I like Leo a bit more, I'm going to go with Matt Damon's character in Colin here.
Okay. I went with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, big show. Straight out the bat.
Yeah. But it is a good shout. I went with Sebastian Stan. The way I was kind of thinking this was he can play both the bad guy and the good guy, because obviously when you see him in the Winter Soldier, when he's in his Winter Soldier mode, he's a real dick. But when he's a good guy, when he's playing up to being a good guy, he can play that as well.
Well, I mean, Chalamet's played villain.
Yeah, I know that's not a knock.
Who do you have?
Sebastian Stan.
The turnaround is on.
I will tell you, as much as I didn't like the film, and it is the worst film I've seen this year, and I'll be shocked if anything knocks it off, like knocks it from the bottom of my list. The 355. This is kind of the character he plays. He plays the good guy that switches to the bad guy. Yeah, and as bad as the film is, he's quite good. And
watch Hotel Transylvania.
No, Craig, I'm going to stop you there, Ted. The worst film you will see this year is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't know. I haven't watched Texas Chainsaw.
I haven't watched the other one. I've watched that.
I haven't.
No. Hotel Transylvania 4.
No,
don't even tell me that, because I'm not putting it on for the kids.
No, lads, genuinely, the acting in this from the people in it, I can't say that they were bad. They were actually all quite good. The story is just so bad. Like, I've never, and I do mean this, I've never once sat in the cinema and sat there and, been like, I might just take my phone out and just like start flicking through Facebook. I was sitting in the cinema and I actually had to stop myself, because I put my hand in my pocket to take the phone out, and I went, no, I'm after paying for it, so I can't do that. I put the phone back in my pocket, and at least half of the film I sat there like that, being like, this is rough. I might just, like, I really want to just go on Facebook here. Like, really just want to go on Facebook. Even though there's nothing there, I just want to go and just not watch this, basically.
Right. Well, from 2 up and close to being 3 up to 3-2 down.
Yep.
The champion is reeling. And now
the 2 he was up as well were close as well. I'm just saying.
They were very close.
I'm not saying that they weren't easy 1 points. Sometimes those hard battles at the start can wear you out.
We go into championship rounds. Right, lads.
Right. Billy Costigan.
Leo. Billy Costigan. Shoot me.
Billy Costigan. I went with someone that we've used before on this, and I say he constantly kind of looks as the bad guy, but I went with the flip role here, where he kind of looks the bit of a bad guy, but he's actually going to end up being the good guy, and I went with Will Poulter.
All right. Okay. You love that man more than Carl loves Zendaya?
I think just, when you're thinking of a young actor that, can play those roles, I think he is very strong at them.
He is good, all right. He is good.
I went with Tom Holland.
You didn't actually, did you?
I did, yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I went Tom Holland, yeah. I think he'd be great for this. I went with Tom Holland and Timothée Chalamet. They do look similar. So that's where I was going with that. That's why I said I kind of cast them as a duo.
All right.
I think he looks similar enough to, I know that's not always a thing, but he does look similar enough to Leo. I think he'd do this role very well.
Yeah, I don't know, and maybe it's just because I haven't seen him in enough stuff, because I've only really seen him in
Spider-Man. Yeah. I've seen him in a couple other things. He is.
It's the bits where he has to be, like killing people. I don't know. I can't see Tom Holland doing it. Can't see him doing it, lads. That's all I'm saying. I can't see Tom Holland.
I mean,
I can't see it. You know,
he killed Mysterio.
No, that man killed himself.
well, if that's the argument, he was going to kill Green Goblin. He was ready to do it.
He was full on ready to do it.
Yeah, and he was angry enough, and he played that fantastically.
Yeah,
you believe that he wanted to do it.
Yeah, but
so it's not a stretch then to
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel
I haven't seen Uncharted yet, but I imagine he kills a couple of people in that.
I imagine so.
I don't think so. I don't think he kills anyone in that.
Reading the reports on it, it looks awful.
Yeah, I've heard bad things about it, but I'll wait until I see it as well.
I've heard bad things, but I haven't heard bad things about his performance.
Yeah,
it's more of a script issue.
Apparently, Mark Wahlberg steals the show as Sully.
Yeah, but not playing Sully.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of one of the issues.
He's playing Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's what Mark Wahlberg does.
Yeah, that's all he does.
I had two names on mine.
Yep.
The backup was Tom Holland.
Okay.
And the front name I had was Rob Patterson.
Okay.
I thought him and Sebastian Stan would work great. They kind of look very similar in an extent.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the long hair and whatnot.
I didn't base it off that because nothing in the film mentioned.
Oh no, nothing in the film says it.
I did step away from that because I was like, will I go with that? And I was like, it's not relevant to the story in any way.
Yeah, no. I kind of tried to do it in that way. I know I said I didn't like doing it that way.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to go. Well, we'll go the two of them together.
Yeah.
Where you might have had them set to go the two of them together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I wanted somebody younger as my Colin as well.
Well, they're pretty close in age. I'm pretty sure. In the movie.
In the film, possibly, but I kind of looked at the age the actors were, and obviously, Leo's younger than.
Not by much, though, is there?
I think they in the film
there's a couple
they were
years.
playing the same age.
They're around the same age, but just when I was casting it, I was like, I want someone just a little bit younger.
Well, actually, I think isn't Damon's character? He's actually older. He is older because he came out of the academy 2 years before Brown did.
Yeah,
and Brown says it to him. Brown's like, "Oh, I came out with."
Yeah, he's Leo's fresh out of the academy.
Yeah,
and that's why they say they won't hire him as an actual
cop.
And then they're like, "But we do have an undercover thing for you," whereas Thing's already working there and established himself.
Matt Damon's 51.
Yeah, he's a good bit.
He is.
He's a couple of years older, all right. Yeah.
DiCaprio's 47. It's not that much of a difference.
No. But in actual terms of the movie,
there's a couple of years between them. Yeah, which is what I was trying to think when I was casting mine as well.
And it's only when Brown refers to it later on, he's like, I came out of the academy with that guy.
Yeah.
And you see them in the academy together and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like when they're doing the bits and pieces. So I tried to base it a little off that as well myself.
I will give it to Tom Holland, surely, because I had him as my backup.
Yeah, it's fair.
Like,
okay.
I kind of liked where I thought my pick there to go alongside Sebastian Stan was the two that would have done. I'm surprised none of yous went for him. I'm surprised you didn't go for him, Ted, after having picking Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, he's a little bit older is kind of the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he can get away with looking younger anyway. Like, I don't think he looks as old as he is.
Yeah, no, it does. But like, I'm just saying, that's where I was kind of. I was like, I want someone who's kind of you can kind of believe would be manipulated from both ways, and then the whole like losing his mind sort of thing because it's getting too much for him. That's where I went with it.
Yeah. So we go down to
Jack,
the man with the most Oscars in this.
Yeah.
What's he got? 4 Oscars? Is it 4 or 5?
4 million. Oh, I don't know. This one's gonna. This one could go either way. I think.
Frank Costello.
Depending on who Carl has, this could go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I know. When I gave you this film, Carl turned around and says Jack's last big acting role, which was false. He done the bucket list after this.
He did, but I mean,
the bucket list was fantastic.
It is, but I mean, there's a comedy.
I don't care.
It was a comedy drama. This was his last big role.
Big serious role. Yeah.
And he was fucking phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he knocks it out of the park. Yeah,
I was unbelievable. Yeah,
I suppose
to recast.
If you were casting anyone to play that role, it was Jack, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had to be Jack. Yeah.
And it wasn't like people said it could have said De Niro or someone, but they couldn't have done it like this.
This was the challenging thing about doing this movie, is because all those type of actors have aged out of that now. You can't be choosing Pacino, you can't be choosing De Niro. They've all aged out of this role now.
Yeah. These roles are gone now to an extent.
Yeah. I did go with someone who has played similar enough roles in a different film. And again, this guy is like a chameleon. He can do pretty much any acting. It's not Gary Oldman. I went with Johnny Depp.
Oh,
bad boy. He's in the bad books. He can't hire him. He's in the bad books.
Oh,
he's
dear.
not, though.
He is. He's got kicked off a massive franchise. Bad boy.
He got kicked off that, but he's also fighting that, and it's all defamation and all that type of stuff. He actually has a case against her for defamation.
No, I know, yeah. So, but he's on the outs in Hollywood at the moment.
He's got another role.
I don't know if he is going to be on the outs. I think anyone.
I don't think he will. I'm just he's on the outs. He's a bad boy. You know, he's on the outs.
I know what you're doing, but I think Johnny Depp would be phenomenal in that. I was thinking of his role in Black Mass.
So
he plays a real life gangster. I can't think of his name. Black Mass. Yeah. He plays a real gangster. Let me look it up. Black Mass. It was only released in 2015. He plays Whitey Bulger.
Black Mass.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of him playing someone in a different movie.
Quite possibly, but he's fantastic as Whitey Bulger in Black Mass.
He was fantastic as the cop in the junkie cop in From Hell as well.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He really is.
There's no denying how good of an actor he is.
Could you imagine him acting the way Jack does in this?
Could you imagine him picking up the handful of coke and fucking at you on here? Don't stop till you're numb.
Yes, you could probably picture him doing that in real life.
It's clean. We will have you now.
So that's why he's fucking it away.
Can't really. Johnny Depp. There's no denying the man's acting credentials. There's not. You'd have to be a fool to try and deny his acting credentials. I had a few names for this. So the first one I went to, and it's something that I moved away from very quickly because I did mention about you need to play through the ages, because obviously this person needs to be old enough to be the father or not the father, but the father figure of Colin. And what I was thinking when I first kind of went with this name was status in Hollywood, and I was thinking, who's got that status at the moment? And I was like, it's probably Leo. Leo's probably now he's not who I went with, but like if you're talking that sort of who's seen as that sort of getting to that status that he was at. Yeah. That's kind of one of the people you're thinking of. And I was like, he's too young though. Give him another 20 years and put him in this role.
Yeah, true.
And you're sorted. Like genuinely you're sorted, because he'll play the role down to a T. So I had two other people. The other one I didn't go with was I was thinking Liam Neeson could possibly do it, but I wasn't sold on Neeson. No. Yeah, I wasn't sold on it. And I went with someone who's Greg has mentioned there as who he thought for somebody else in Bryan Cranston. I think as an actor, Bryan Cranston is just absolutely phenomenal. And I can see him being this gangster boss. And just, I can just see it. Like, I can see him doing everything that you need him to do.
Wow.
I like Bryan Cranston a lot. I do. But his best role was Breaking Bad. And anything else he has really done doesn't live up to it.
Malcolm in the
Middle.
I think it'd be completely different.
It is very different, but like you can see that he has that acting ability to do this role, even just from Breaking Bad.
Anything else he has tried to do outside of that, he's done films since Breaking Bad, and Like he's done
His
like the
status
Trump
has
one. That
dropped.
type. His status has dropped, and they're just not, bankable. The performances aren't as good as they were in Breaking Bad.
Possibly, but I think you can
because
tell that he has that.
He has such a long time to build up that character. You have
Possibly.
3 hours to do this here, and he doesn't have the commandingness straight off the bat as Johnny Depp would.
I think he can. I think if you give him if you let him do it, like as an actor, he is absolutely phenomenal. And I think if he's shown it in Breaking Bad that if he needs to do it, he can.
I don't think it's at the ready. I will say.
I don't know. I think it is. I think he can turn it on when he needs to. I know his status has dropped a little bit. I haven't seen him in Uncharted, but he is in Uncharted.
Is he?
He's in Uncharted.
Oh
yeah.
my God! That's how far he's dropped.
Who the fuck is he playing in Uncharted?
You can't say he's dropped. Uncharted is considered
well, you can
to be.
if he's not been billed.
Well, I don't know. This thing says he's in Uncharted. I don't know that he is. I haven't seen it, but
unless he's playing the bad guy.
The villain.
I don't know.
If he's not being billed as being in Uncharted, because people, you'd sell tickets from that. If he's not being billed from that, that's saying something.
Yeah, I don't know. It says he's. It doesn't say he's in it. It's listed there as something like maybe he's a director or a writer or something. I don't know, but I think
he played the game once.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he can play that character, and it's been seen that he can do it. Like that. That's where I went with it. I was like, he can definitely play the character, and I can see him doing it very well.
What do you think, Greg?
Depp and Cranston.
Yep.
Well, who did you have in there, Greg?
He's missed a beat on the one that I had. I had Michael Keaton.
He has a very good shout.
Like Jack in this is someone you'd look at and think you're not a crime boss.
Yeah.
Well, for most of it, you look at it and you're like, you're not a crime boss.
Yeah, I can see Keaton doing it. Yeah.
He sits in, and he kind of doesn't do a whole lot himself.
Yeah, well,
he'll command himself.
Yeah.
Once you're at the head of the table, you can. You can command everyone else to do it.
No, but that's what I mean. Like Jack, he has the name, but nobody you can't put it into him.
Yeah. He's climbed his way up high enough.
Kind of like Batman.
Yeah, Keaton is a good shout, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't even think of him.
To be honest, I didn't go there.
Bryan Cranston, I think it'd be a bad choice for me to pick him, considering I was going to cast him as Queenan. Really.
Sorry, you're going to tell me that, and then earlier in this game, you told me, oh, well, I would have cast Timothy Olyphant somewhere else, and you're not getting the point for it, even though I can see that that's what I would have done. Sorry, you're going to use that argument here? Sorry, that doesn't... You can use that argument here if you go back and give me that other point. I'm happy to concede that argument here if you're happy to go back and give me that point. Make your choice. You can't fucking use it for half your choices and not the other.
If you hadn't let me finish, I was going to say Bryan Cranston was the other name that was on my list, you fucking dick.
Yeah, but you had to get in. I had to get in there preemptively and say, you can't be having.
You jumped the gun there.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I think this actually might be one of them times when the other person's pick is better to change my mind.
Yeah, I think Depp would knock this out of the park.
I do think so. He didn't even cross my mind, and I don't know how he didn't, because I love casting him in things.
I do like Johnny Depp a lot, but I don't know. I don't buy him as a crime boss in that sense. I don't know. I've never bought him as a crime boss in that sense.
If I know you haven't seen Black Mass, but the lad plays Whitey Bulger.
Yeah, I haven't seen Black Mass, and I'm just thinking of everything I have seen him in.
I thought he was very good as in is it Gangster Squad when he played? What was the other gangster he played?
Yeah, can't think of that either.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just don't think of him as a crime boss. I don't know. Like, as good as an actor as he is, I just never think of him as the as a crime boss.
I think it's because he's probably done a lot of those lovable characters that everyone remembers.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. I don't see it personally. I actually don't see it. I just see him in a different light, I suppose.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's because I haven't seen Black Mass.
I haven't seen Black Mass either, so I can't judge off that. But I'm just thinking of the other stuff I've seen him in.
I can't remember what the name of the character he played in Gangster Squad was, but he was fucking phenomenal as one of the bad guys in that. But Bryan Cranston as Hal, or not as Hal, as
Hal. Well, that's where
Hal is who he took over from when he left.
Yeah, and then
to be dead.
Then he made all those muscular men be his slaves in that one episode.
His demeanor in Breaking Bad was phenomenal. I just don't know whether he'd be able to recapture it at this stage.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think he could. I think as an actor, I think he's phenomenal.
He is. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good actor.
It's been a decade since he's done anything noteworthy.
Is it 10 years since he left Breaking Bad?
It must be around that.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know it. When I think of Johnny Depp,
it must be about that because I don't know when I think
one of
the first things he did afterwards was that Total Recall remake.
We won't talk about that.
That was god awful. So that's about a decade ago.
Yeah, the one thing I think just with Johnny, with Johnny Depp, I think of Johnny Depp in a kind of different light as a bad guy rather than as a mob boss. And then obviously there is that bit of, at the moment he's on the outs in Hollywood. I'm not saying he will be forever, but at the moment he is on the outs in Hollywood. He was, taken out of a huge film that he was the main villain in. It's a
child's franchise, and they're getting rid of.
What else has he been cast in?
Press.
But what else has he been cast in since this all came to light?
Well, again, he is.
That's all I'm saying. Like that's one of the things is that we have used that before. If someone's retired, and I know he's not retired, but Hollywood has stepped away from him just because of what's around him at the moment.
He's just been cast as Louis the 15th or the 12th or something. New film coming out.
And speaking of that we could have actually on the Flintstones episode, just as a little thing, Ted, you should have won from that because who is actually retired. What's her name? Goldie Hawn.
Yeah,
is she retired? No, she's not coming back to do the new Christmas Chronicles.
No, they're only doing two. They're not doing a third one. So Ted, you should have won that one.
Yeah. Well, I am just putting that out there.
He has just been cast by Hollywood as Louis the 15th in the new French something or the movie that I'm not going to go and see.
Yeah. Well, nothing's been
updated to it.
I mean, nothing's been they haven't filmed and nothing's been on that. So
things can change.
There's a very good chance that if this court case doesn't go the way he wants it to go, that could change. So we have used that in the past for people that they're on the outs in Hollywood at the moment, and he definitely is. There's no denying whether it is a children's film or not. He is on the outs in Hollywood at the moment. She should be as well, but she's not.
Well, is she not get taken out of Aquaman?
I don't know if they did in the end. I think she's still in it.
I could have sworn she got kicked from that.
No, I think she's still in it.
That's another topic.
That's a different topic. But
I think actually that when you said that's another topic, I think I mentioned that earlier in a couple of shows ago, and that was the exact answer that we got.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying that for the moment he is on the outs in Hollywood, and I personally, maybe it's just based on what I've seen, I don't see him as the mob boss.
Bryan Cranston is in the outs in Hollywood, not by anything like that, just from not having the name anymore.
I don't know. I still think he's the leader in the whole way through Breaking Bad. He's the. I know he has to get there in the show
a decade ago.
But once he's there, he is the mob boss. Yeah, but I'm just saying he is the mob, but the mob crime boss in that. And I just don't see that as Depp. And maybe that's just because of what I've seen him in, but I don't see Depp as that.
Do you know what? I think you've sold it to me, Ted, at the end there with the being on the outs. It's come back and been used before.
You literally just said that he's just been cast, so he's not on the outs of Hollywood.
Yeah, but
he's literally just gotten on the roll.
Yeah, but what if, right? What if that case goes badly?
What if my uncle had a fanny? He'd be my aunt.
Yeah. It's true.
Well, if my uncle had wheels, he'd be a wagon.
You're playing around with what ifs.
What if I had wheels? I'd be a wagon.
My uncle had wheels, he'd be a wagon.
You're playing around with what ifs here.
I do think that he is at the moment, like he's been casting a pre-production, but nothing's been recorded. So like nothing's set in stone for that.
It's set in stone that Bryan Cranston isn't getting good roles anymore. If he's not even being credited and promoted that he's in Uncharted.
Well, when I clicked into it, I can't see that he's mentioned at all, so I don't know why it's listed there. I just looked up Bryan Cranston.
Sorry, I'm just reading it here. Just before I make a decision, I'm just having a look at that thing there. He will be cast as Louis XV as long as the court case.
Exactly. So if it goes his way,
as long as the court case goes his way, which means he could still well be on the outside.
Yeah, and that was my point. That he, at the moment, as it stands, that man is on the outs in Hollywood.
Yeah, literally, when you click into it, it says he's been cast, but with a catch.
Yeah, so like it's even in his contract. Unless your name's cleared, you're not getting this.
Carl, you took a chance, and it unfortunately has backfired on a technicality again.
Yes. Bryan Cranston.
I was generally gonna give you the Johnny Depp pick over what I had on my backup.
Justice.
Yeah, a technicality has ended the champion's reign again.
And
it didn't end it again. It cost you 2 championship reigns,
and it's put him as another short reign as champion.
When he gets cleared,
I will go back and veto this episode.
When he gets cleared, you can come back and you can revisit it. But since I already know what Greg's pissed for his casts are, I'm just going to pick exactly what Greg picked for all my casts, then, and you can keep your Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If I hadn't seen that it was to do with that, I think that's why I just wanted to make sure. Like, if I had said, yeah, he's cast and they're just going off and that's it, I would have overturned my pick. But it's a big stipulation on it to say that if his court case goes, the thing which they plan it will.
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's still they're not sure.
Well, I mean, America thought that O.J. Simpson was going to jail for murder, and we've seen how that went.
Where's the other glove?
Unfortunately, Carl, the technicality has got you once again. Now, be nice with the movie choice here.
And
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Yeah, now, see, I didn't agree with what happened in the last episode, but sure, look.
I didn't agree with, Timothy Olyphant. Greg had him cast elsewhere and he still cast him, That's,
I mean, Ted, do you want me to go and change my pick from being a smug asshole?
No, I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
that happened and it came back to me, it came back to me.
Well, I mean, you were 2 down and on the ropes.
Yeah, I fought back, Carl put it all into those first 2 rounds. He put everything he had into those and,
No, to be fair, the champion made a gallant attempt here now.
No, he did. I'm just saying he put so much into those first 2 rounds that,
he's starting to look a bit like R-Truth here, though.
Yeah, it tired him out,
What happened? He's getting it and getting taken straight.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Getting rolled up.
Him and Crash Holly here.
Well, I have one for you, lads.
Okay.
You aren't going to be happy.
Oh dear,
never
another tough one.
You aren't going to be happy because you have the unenviable task of recasting Jim Carrey in The Truman Show.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Jim Carrey's always a tough one to recast, I think.
Always tough to recast.
the type of actor he is, not just as the comedy, but like the way he can manipulate his face, and the expressions always do play into his characters. So
Greg doesn't look happy.
Well,
it's going to be
I haven't watched this in a long time, so I'm happy to be able to go back and watch it for a reason. I do remember loving the movie. I can't really remember a lot of it. I know obviously what happens in it, but is there 7 characters in it?
There is. I have them all ready to go.
We'll talk about that off screen anyway.
We'll get the list off screen. Obviously, like, share, and follow us on YouTube, on the Twitters, Facebooks, Instagram, all at Retrotainment 1. Don't forget to
Sherlock 91.
Carl Sherlock 91 for the votes. And we'll be back again next week when we're doing the unenviable task of...
I don't want to play anymore. Carl's being mean.
That's great. So, Carl, do you want to just award me that win now? And then you can be back in the casting seats. Well, Greg, what's your film?
Do you really want me to pick another movie after picking this one?
No.
Well, I mean, if it puts me on a 2-week winning streak, I'm happy to go for it. Well, until next week. That's it, lads. Good luck.